All right, friends, we are going to be talking about my sales in the first week of May, and I'm going to tell you something. They were crummy, but I also have grown a lot in the last, how long have I been doing this now? Like 3 or 4 years, to know that it's silly to let my numbers dictate how I feel about myself as a person, because I am much more than my sales numbers. Yes, these numbers are pretty stinky for me, but that is okay. The earth will keep spinning, life will go on, and especially because I'm a part-time reseller, I'm not going to sweat it too much. I'm just going to apply what I learned moving forward and hope that things improve.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body trimmings for your neck.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park. I am a part-time reseller, which means I do have a full-time job. I'm a high school choir teacher, and I resell in the pockets of time that I have. So if you enjoy learning about reselling from a part-time perspective of someone who really is doing it to just make sure that we don't have any debt that we're dealing with, to, use that money to go on fun trips with my family and whatnot. If you want to learn how to make the most of reselling as a side hustle, then this really is the channel for you. So if you're brand new to my channel, first of all, thank you so much for checking me out. And I do hope that you enjoy what you see and that you subscribe. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for watching through the good and the bad. This is definitely like, is one of the bad. But yeah, in this video, like I said earlier, we are going to be talking about what sold for me in the first week of May. I am still kind of behind on these videos. I am determined though to get caught up, so that's going to happen. But let's start by talking about Monday, which was May 2nd. I actually started off the week with a pretty good sale. It was this White House Black Market embroidered floral sleeveless dress in a size 6. To be honest, White House Black Market, it's not really my vibe, it's not my aesthetic, but I know there are a lot of people out there who adore this brand. To be honest, it is pretty expensive retail, and it can do okay in the resale market. I would say dresses are going to be your best bet. I think that their blazers and stuff can do okay. I would personally stay away from like their jeans and their career wear pants, but their dresses for the most part I can do really well with. And this particular dress I picked up for $1 at a local consignment store because they were doing a tag sale where everything of that color tag was only $1. They had had it in their store forever. No one was biting, so they were literally trying to give it away for almost free. And that's when I picked this up. It sold for $36. So once you account for Poshmark's 20% fees, once you account for my $1 cost of goods, my net profit on that dress was $27.80. I have preached this before, and I will continue preaching it until my dying day. I don't really care if it is a piece that I can get behind, if it's a piece that I would personally wear myself. If I feel like there is a market for it, and if I feel like someone else would pay good money for it, I'm going to list it. This I think is like better than a lot of the other White House Black Market pieces I've seen. I still probably wouldn't wear it myself, but I knew that it would sell for a decent amount, and it definitely did. The next thing to sell was also like kind of a surprising sale. It was this pair of Pierre Cardin. Don't really know the brand, have never heard of it, but it was this pair of brown snakeskin tassel loafers. To be honest, these were kind of beat up. There was a lot of wear on the snakeskin itself, which I showed in the pictures, and I made sure to notate in the description of the listing itself. I was also so surprised that these were made of snakeskin, because when I was in 5th grade, was it 5th grade? Yeah, when I was in 5th grade, we had 2 ball pythons. Those were our class pets, and I remember like once every, I don't know how often it was, every couple months, they would shed their outer layer, and it was very scaly, and it just didn't seem super substantial. Like, I don't know how they were able to make shoes out of that material. So that was kind of weird. It kind of grossed me out. And there were a few platforms that did not let me list these to those platforms because of the fact that they were made of snakeskin. Facebook Marketplace was one of those platforms, but they sold on Poshmark for $35, even with the flaws. And so I made a profit of $28 because those are shoes that my mother-in-law gave to me for free. I definitely would not have picked these up at the thrift store myself. I would not have been like, oh, snakeskin, cool. Like, let me buy those and try to sell them. I would not have had the guts, but because she gave them to me, I was like, okay, let's see how these do. Pleasantly surprised. That doesn't mean that I'm advising you to run out and buy all the snakeskin things, but just know that it can sell. It can. The next thing to sell was a bundle of 2 items. The first item was this Massimo supply. I literally just learned a few weeks ago from a comment that someone left in a video that Massimo supply from Target is like that same Massimo that's married to Aunt Becky from Full House and the one that like had to go to jail for the college admissions scam stuff. I did not know that. Anyway, it was this casual gingham dress in a youth girl size small. I think that I got this and another almost identical dress for free from a friend at church. Even though it's just Target, I thought it was really cute, so I went ahead and listed it. And then the second item to sell from this bundle was this Point Sur, which is like kind of a sub-brand of J. Crew and Madewell, if you will. You see it sometimes inside J. Crew stores, but it's kind of like a more nautical, like preppy version of J. Crew, and it was this pink drapey oversized pop over in a size small. That one I had picked up at a local consignment store, the same place that I got that White House Black Market dress, but my average cost of goods for this particular trip was $4.92. And so that bundle, it sold for $45. I think that was the offer that I got. I only had $4.92 into that entire bundle. So on those 2 pieces, I made a profit of $31.08. And I was very happy about that. That popover from Madewell I've probably had for, I don't know, like a couple months. It's been listed, so not too bad. That popover blouse from Point Sur I've probably had listed for a few months. Not bad. And then I had one eBay sale. It was this Rachel Roy beige black striped ruched dress in a size extra small. This one sold for $15. Rachel Roy is like Rachel Roy's diffusion line, and I don't even know that Rachel Roy itself does super well. You can find this brand at Macy's. I just generally feel like most brands that you can find at Macy's, like the resale value is meh, but I had about $3 into that, so I made a profit of $10.56. I did think the dress was cute, just, you know, if the brand isn't there to back it up, it's kind of a hard sell. On Tuesday, which was May 3rd, this was the beginning of a 3-day Poshmark drought. So, you know, when you hear me talking on Instagram and different places about how Poshmark is really, I mean, I'm struggling with it. I'm having a hard time getting consistent sales over there. I'm not joking. 3-day Poshmark drought. But thankfully on eBay, I did have a couple sales. The first sale being this Banana Republic Factory polka dot dress polo in a size large for men. This one had a couple watchers on it, so I sent out offers to watchers for $14.90. That was promoted at 3%, and I had about $5 into it because this came to me from a friend at church, and at the time, we kind of worked out a deal where I just bought stuff off of him. I just kind of gave him like random prices on things like, okay, I'm willing to pay X amount for your stuff. And he was like, okay. So that's kind of what we did here. And so I'm saying I had about $5 into this. I mean, this was forever ago. This was at least 2-3 years ago. I've had this listed now. So I made a profit of $6.06. Not amazing, but you know, it is what it is, and I'm okay with that. The next thing to sell was this Vince Camuto Barbara Gladiator tan mid-calf stiletto heels in a 6.5. These, I think, came to me in a thread-up rescue box, a shoe rescue box. These sold for my full asking price on eBay of $64.99. When I tell you that I was not expecting that to happen, and these were probably listed for close to half a year, which isn't awful. I had about $5 into them because I think that I had purchased that thread-up rescue box when they were on sale. So I made a profit after eBay's fees and after my cost of goods of $51.84. How I would love to only flip things that will, you know, make me a profit of $50 or more. Sometimes it's just not going to happen though, but I was very thankful that this was one of those times that it did. And then moving on to Wednesday, which was May 4th, on Mercari I had one sale, and it was this pair of Talbots, the perfect crop high-rise khaki pants in a women's size 12. These sold for $18. I only had $1.02 into them because they were a part of a big reseller buyout that I did. There was a local reseller who no longer wanted to resell due to some personal issues in her life. So I bought everything off of her for very cheap, and with my low cost of goods and Mercari's pretty low fees, I had a profit of $14.36 on those career pants. I don't love selling career pants, but I will say that career pants by certain brands, they will always sell. They just sometimes take a little bit longer, especially with the fact that, you know, more and more people are being allowed to work from home. unless you work for Tesla. I don't know if you guys heard about that Elon Musk's tweet, but yeah, you know, a lot of people are able to work from home, or a lot of workplaces are just a little bit more casual than they used to be. I know for myself as a teacher, I see math teachers teaching in like sweatpants and stuff. It's crazy. I personally just wear jeans to work most days, so the need for nice career pants is kind of decreasing, which means, you know, those sales are a little bit harder to come by. Moving on to Thursday, which was May 5th. Again, I only had one sale, and it was on eBay. It was this LL Bean red short sleeve vented fishing shirt in a men's large tall. Definitely the tall sizes for men move a little bit faster, and maybe you can make like a little bit more money on those pieces, because men who are taller really need their pieces to be longer, and there's more fabric involved, and it's just harder for them to find those pieces. So this sold for my full asking price of $24.99. I had $1.02 into it because it was part of that same reseller buyout. So I made a profit of $19.88. I don't think that you can sell all LL Bean vented fishing shirts for that amount, but again, I think it's because it was in that men's tall size. Moving on to May 6th, which was a Friday. I started off the day with a bundle on Poshmark, and it was a Ralph Lauren bundle, meaning there were 2 items that sold in this bundle, and they were both by the brand Ralph Lauren. I am so sad when I think about how many Ralph Lauren pieces I've passed up in my day because I just didn't think there was any value in the brand. But holy cow, Ralph Lauren sells so well. I would say especially on eBay, but like this is on Poshmark, for example. So the first item to sell was this pair of Ralph Lauren Rihanna, that was the style name, black patent leather wedges. They were like slide-on sandals with a wedge in a size 10. I have been talking on my channel a lot recently about how I have noticed that it is women's shoes in bigger sizes that have been selling a lot. It's funny because I also feel like I've been finding them more often or being sent them more often in like thredUP rescue boxes, which these shoes did come to me in a thredUP rescue box. But they also sell much better online. So if you are at the thrift store and you find, you know, good shoes in a women's size 9, 10, or 11, holy cow, those are probably going to move for you pretty quickly. So again, I had $6 into those because they came to me from a thredUP rescue box. And then the next item to sell was, again, Ralph Lauren, but it was this paisley stretch jersey dress in a size 3X. It had like a gold belt on it. And that one I picked up at a local consignment store, and I paid $5 for it because I was like, you know what? This is a great brand. It's a great style. And it's a plus size dress. And so I had that listed, actually, that dress by itself, for maybe like $50. However, I saw that someone put both of these items into a bundle. Those shoes I've kind of had for a long time. So I went ahead and sent them an offer of $60 for both items with discounted shipping. They accepted. I had $11 into the bundle. So I made a profit of $34.32 on those 2 Ralph Lauren pieces. Again, what have we learned from this bundle sale? Ralph Lauren sells. Bigger shoes sell, plus size, anything. If it's cute, if it's got a good brand to it, you're going to be able to move it pretty well. So that was a great bundle sale. Super happy about it. On Mercari, I sold this pair of American Eagle Super Stretch X. I think that's like the signifier of like the kind of stretch that's on the American Eagle pants. I don't know. They do weird things. But it was this pair of green camo high-rise jeggings in a size 4 long. These sold for $20. I had $3 into them from a local consignment store when they were having a tag sale. And so I made a profit of $14.12. American Eagle denim, I will still pick it up. I'm definitely cooling off on it a little bit more. I don't pick it up as frequently because the value is starting to get like lower and lower and lower. It used to be that you could consistently sell American Eagle denim for like $25 to $30, which every once in a while you still can, but I'm kind of finding that more often than not, they're selling for that like $18 to $20 range. And I'd just rather not pick stuff up at the thrift store to sell for $18 to $20. And then moving on to Saturday, which was May 7th, I had one Poshmark sale, and it was this pair of New With Tags Loft Outlet, and you know that it's outlet because it has like those little diamonds under where it says Loft on the tag. It was this pair of white 6-inch inseam shorts in a women's size 10. These sold for $17 with discounted shipping because I used a sharing service called Posher VA. Posher VA is a Chrome extension that you can, there's like a monthly subscription for it, but what it does is it shares your Poshmark closet. It'll send out offers to likers for you if you want it to. It'll delist and relist listings. There's a lot of stuff. Like it'll follow people for you without you having to sit there at your computer or your phone and babysit your Poshmark closet, which I love. So if you want to try that out, I do have a coupon code. It's Becky Park, and that allows you to save 20% off of your first payment on Posher VA. But because of Posher VA, I made the sale. I had $4.92 into these because I did purchase them in a wholesale palette that I purchased from a fellow reseller. So my profit on those was $6.96. To be honest, this is not the kind of thing that I would pick up if I were at the thrift store, but because they were part of this palette, I just went ahead and listed them, knew I would make a little bit of money, and I was okay with that. When I go out to source, I'm really looking to pick up things that I'm going to make at least a $20 profit on. A lot of the items in this palette were not that, a lot of them I'm not going to make $20 of profit on, but because I'm getting so much at once and I just have like inventory to list, I'm okay with that. It's all right. The next sale came to us from Depop. Like, what are the odds of that? So on Depop, I sold this Carhartt blue plaid short sleeve button down shirt in a men's size extra large. So I'm not a Depop expert. I'm not going to have like a video coming out on Depop soon because I think I've sold like 4 things over there. But I have learned that a lot of Depop sellers who are successful offer free shipping on their items, and they just kind of build the cost of shipping into the cost of their item. I personally just hate the idea of free shipping because I always feel like I made less than I actually did. But I do free shipping on Depop. I also do free shipping on Kitizen because it's kind of the same thing. It's that similar culture of free shipping is king. But because this sold for $28, it was definitely under £1, so I was able to get it out first class. I had $1.02 into it because it came from that same reseller buyout as some of the other pieces I've mentioned in this video. So between my cost of goods, between paying for shipping and between Depop's fees, I still made a profit of $18.16 on that. Not too shabby. And then the last day of sales that we'll talk about, I told you this was going to be a short video, is Sunday, May 8th. I had one 2-piece bundle sell on Poshmark. The first item was this pair of Shein distressed high-waist light wash jeans in a size small. I do not pick up Shein at the thrift store. However, I purchased these from a friend of mine because she was moving and she is a reseller. She didn't want to move all of her inventory with her though, like many, many states away, which I don't blame her for. So she sold me all of her inventory. As you can see, I've been buying a lot in bulk lately, and my cost of goods per item from her came out to about $1.50. So again, when you're buying out someone's inventory or when you're buying wholesale pallets, you don't really have control over what's going to arrive in your house. You just get what you get and you decide if you want to list it or not. I don't know that I've ever listed Shein before, so I was like, I'll just try and see what happens. So I went ahead and listed it, and I actually got a decent amount of attention on this pair of jeans because they are really cute, but ultimately they sold in this bundle. But yeah, only $1.50 into it. And the second thing to sell in this bundle was a pair of silver jeans. They were the Maisie slip crop jeans with like this floral embellishment. They were distressed and they were in a women's size 27. Those I had $7.07 into. I picked those up at a Plato's Closet. I thought they were beautiful. They're not kind of the typical aesthetic of silver jeans. I feel like silver jeans usually looks a little bit more like Miss Me or Rock and Republic, kind of that vibe of denim, like the kind of stuff that you see at Buckle, but these didn't look like that, and maybe that's why I've had them for, I don't know, like close to a year in my closet. But thankfully, I saw that someone liked these 2 pair of jeans. I put them in a bundle for her. By the way, if you want to learn how to use Poshmark's bundle features more effectively, I do have a video on that. It's a little bit older, but I think it still has some really good information. I'll link it right here, and I'll have it linked for you down in the description below. But what I did was I put both those items in a bundle. I sent her a message saying that I did that. I offered discounted shipping. And so the bundle sold for $45 with $2.68 off for shipping. I had $8.57 into that bundle. And so I still made a profit of $24.75. Those were my sales for the week. So now let's talk about my numbers. On Poshmark, I sold 9 items, which is which is sad. Like typically I sell at least 20 items on Poshmark a week, I would say. So 9 felt very rough to me. That was for a gross sales amount of $238, but once you factor in any discounted shipping that I offered and Poshmark's 20% fees, that total drops to $183.32. I had $20.41 as my cost of goods for those 9 items, so I made a net profit on Poshmark of $162.91. On eBay, I sold 4 items for a gross sales amount of $119.88. That's also pretty low for me for eBay, but what are you going to do? Once you factor in eBay's fees, that total drops to $102.36. I had a cost of goods for those 4 items of $14.02, so I still made a net profit of $88.34 on eBay. I only sold 2 things on Mercari this week, and that was for a gross sales amount of $38.36. I can't read my handwriting. Once you factor in Mercari's fees, that total drops to $32.50. I had $4.02 into those 2 items, and so I made a net profit of $28.48 on Mercari. On Depop, I sold 1 item, which is huge for me. I sell 1 thing like basically a month on Depop, I want to say. That was for a gross sales amount of $28. Once you factor in Depop's fees and the shipping that I paid through Pirate Ship, and then what you do is you take the tracking number from Pirate Ship and you plug it into Depop, that total dropped to $19.18. I had $1.02 into that item, so I made a profit of $18.16. So in total, I sold 16 items this particular week, and that was for a gross sales amount of $423.88. Once you factor in shipping, discounts, and fees, that total drops to $337.36. My cost of goods for those 16 items was $39.47, and so I made a net profit of $297.89. When I looked at my numbers, and I did my numbers kind of late, it was probably a couple weeks after this week had passed, I asked myself, I'm like, why was this week so bad? And the reason for it, looking back, is because I was just coming off of basically a 2-week spell where I did not list at all. And the reason for that is because this was the week of the musical at my school. So I was at school all hours of the day, and even during school, I had kids coming in during their lunch, during planned periods to work on their music. So I just had very limited time, and I was not listing a thing. And I wasn't even worried about it. I was like, I'm going to have awful sales weeks, and that's fine. And to be honest, like the fact that I made almost $300 in net sales, that's pretty exciting to me in that those $300 all came from work that had been done previously. I literally did no work, this week and the week before, but the consistent work that I had put in before that still allowed me to make $300 extra in this week, which I thought was really great. I will say, one of the struggles with reselling is when you do have a period where, you just need a breather and you're going to stop listing for a bit. It's hard because it does take some time to build that momentum back up. It's so easy to tear down something that you've spent a lot of time building up, and it takes so long to build something back up again, and that is kind of the frustrating thing about reselling. But the truth is, when you need to breathe, and you need to give your body that time and space to do so. Also going on this week, I was incredibly sick. I was certain that I had COVID because everyone in the cast and crew had COVID. Kids were going down like flies. We were considered actually an outbreak, and so we had to test at school. It was like 4 times a week. We would go in and test, and every time we tested, there was another 2 kids that were testing positive. We were unsure of if we were even going to be able to do the show in the first place. It was crazy, and I was so sick, and I would go into each testing like, this is it. This is the moment that I finally get the COVID, and I never got it. And I still to this day don't understand it. I don't understand how I was around all those kids. Some of them I would see 3-4 times a day because they were in my class, they were in my a cappella group, they were at rehearsal for the musical. I could not catch this disease. I guess my vaccine and booster were like really kicking it in overdrive, but it was a couple rough weeks. I still made money, which I'm really, really thankful for. And sometimes that's just the way that it goes. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button so that YouTube knows that you enjoyed it and will, hopefully push it out to other people who can hopefully also enjoy it as well. And if you enjoyed this video and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, definitely make sure that you subscribe, because one thing I can promise you is that there are a lot more What Sold videos coming your way because I need to catch up to present day. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!